hello, I'm making this for you the evening before your explanation for your assessment task because I think it's easier for you to go through this and then you can ask questions after. We are also I'm going to show you an example. I've got it here, but I can't give it to you an example written down as a copy, but I'm going to show you what it looks like tomorrow. Okay, so here I'm going to be sending this to you shortly, and on this one here is the Ass2ReYr8 RE task. This one here is the very long PowerPoint with the guideline on, which shows you what is expected of the RE task, or the information, the guidelines, plus persuasive techniques. And this one is a persuasive template. It is like peel. Instead of petal, this time I've got peel. I've taken out the technique and I've given you a structure to follow, a scaffolding, and also on that structure I've also added some of the persuasive techniques plus other things on there. So this is actually a good one to follow. But we'll start off with the Year 8 RE assessment task. Okay? Actually, I won't open there. I'm going to change my mind because I can't play around with it. So I've got one here which I've saved. Oh, actually, I want the that's the persuasive template, which I'm going to look at in a minute. We'll start off with the Year 8 RE task. Okay, right, I'm going to make this a bit bigger. I'm going to highlight appropriate keywords. All right. Okay, in this task, you'll be assessed on how well you. Prior to this, I would have asked you to go through, take out your assessment task and go through and highlight the keywords. We are now going to do the keywords. And so the highlight here is, I'm going to highlight, see if yours matches, appreciate, sacrament guide, and enrich people's lives. How do the sacraments serve as a guide and enrich people's lives? Is it a value that's appreciated? Knowledge, to describe the nature and significance of the sacrament of initiation. It's highly likely you'll do baptism because that's the one we've focused on up till now. So it's the sacrament of baptism, which is the sacrament of initiation. Make sure that these words are included in your assessment task. Now, I'm not just telling you for this religion, I'm telling you for all of your assessment tasks, go to the outcomes assessed, highlight the words that are there, make sure they're included, because if your teacher sees those, they will be thrilled. The skill. We are marking you on your skill, whether you are able to consider the meaning and the value of the signs and symbols and rituals. Remember, signs, symbols and rituals, you've got that written down in your book. They are the ones associated with your sacrament of initiation, which I am assuming probably will be baptism. The context. This is also useful to include these words in, because it improves your vocabulary and improves your assessment as well. The context. The sacrament can be seen as a visible sign of God. We can't actually see God. God is our belief, but the sacrament is seen as a visible sign of God's redemptive love. I would like you to look up redemptive. Oh, don't want that. I'd like you to look up redemptive. See if what you can see redemptive is. I can do it this way. Actually, no, I'll do it quickly. Synonym, liberating, redeeming, saving, rescuing, delivering. So he saves you. God's love saves us. And through the sacrament, we encounter Christ and enter into the mystery of his death and resurrection. Okay, so we revisit that mystery. In this unit, students will come to know why the sacrament is so important to the church. They will come to appreciate their life-giving nature. They'll appreciate it and explore the sacrament of initiation more deeply, so to empower our lives as Christians. So that means that you're going to explore the sacrament and its purpose and how it impacts our lives and empowers us as Christians. What is that purpose? Because that actually would be one of your persuasive arguments, that it empowers us as in the Christian community. All right, the task description. Persuasive task. We've said that again and again. Invites the students to promote the purpose of the sacrament, rituals in the Catholic Church. Invite the audience to consider the purpose and meaning of one of the sacraments of initiation, baptism, confirmation, or Eucharist. This is an editorial article. Create an editorial article. It's a Catholic school magazine. That's important. So it's school level. You are persuading the audience on the way in which receiving one of the sacraments of initiation enables us to draw closer to God, be initiated into the church, be welcomed into the church. That is also important. In your editorial, be sure to include the following as part of your argument. Identify signs and symbols and actions. Detail the ritual associated with the sacrament. The ritual, remember, look that up. Structure and particular elements. The structure of the sacrament, the beginning, the middle, and the end. Include images and incorporate an appropriate scripture quote to support your particular sacrament. We've got an example here, Ephesians 4:7, but to each one of us, so you might need a bit of help with that. So when you find your biblical quote, I'll show you how to do that, and I'll show you how to put it into your assessment task. Length, 800 words, 150 rational. Now, it's important for marking guidelines, extensive knowledge, understanding signs and symbols. So make sure at the end that you go in and tick these off, all right? I do not want to see, you are going to be handing this up, and I want to see every assessment task that I receive with a little tick next to it. If that doesn't get a tick, I'm going to be ticked off. Ha ha ha. I want a tick, whether you think whatever level it is, but I want to know that you've actually checked through your editorial and seen that it has completed these. Okay, all right. It doesn't mean you'll get you're not there's very few people that get 25. I want you to focus on improving one aspect of your writing, whether it be vocabulary, because you can't improve in everything. Don't be overwhelmed. Improving your vocabulary, plus reading the assessment criteria and the assessment and including those words. That is actually a goal I'd like you to set for yourself. And I will help you write the bibliography. Okay, so that's that one. I'm going to get rid of that. Hopefully you've got those highlighted. Next one we're going to have a look at is the assessment guide. Now, I'm not going to go through all this in detail. This is going to be sent to you. This is what the other classes are being shown. All right, it says this one, the due date is on, where's my phone? It's Friday week, which is, I think it's the 24th we said. Yeah, 24th. So 24th of May. All right. You have 2 full lessons a week other than this one. It's a quarter of your yearly grade. You must submit it on the 24th. 20% will be lost every day for it being late. So if you don't do a very good job, you're better off handing the job that you're not happy with in than the one that you want to make perfect, but you end up losing by Monday 40%. That's crazy. Outcomes assessed, we've discussed this, we've discussed that. This is all written in your assessment task, which we've looked at. We've looked at that in your assessment task, what to hand in, and the rationale. This rationale, in the task requires you to write a 150-word rationale about your project. You'll write in the first person using I, and what you're doing in this rationale is explaining the persuasive techniques that you chose to use in your editorial, and here's an example. I used inclusive language in my editorial when I wrote, "We are all one community. We are living in the church. We are the living church." So, excuse me. This inclusive language, and you're explaining what the purpose of the inclusive language is, persuades the reader about the sense of community achieved when undertaking the sacraments of Holy Communion. What is an editorial? It's a personal opinion of one of the editorial staff in the newspaper. They're giving their opinion. This is a good example here. Trump lies and his American fans say, "So what?" And that newspaper, that editor would be talking about whether this is in his opinion, whether he agrees or disagrees. It is the express opinion of the writer, which in this case is you. It is like a persuasive essay, that supports a particular opinion. And that scaffold I've given you is virtually a persuasive essay. How to write an editorial slideshare, and you've got some more information here. Down here are persuasive techniques. Now that's the end for me, because that goes all the way through to 22. You may have a look at that and go through it carefully, but what I've done is I've taken elements of this, of your assessment task, and elements of persuasive techniques, and I put on a persuasive template, which is like your peel. So the rest of the staff also has this. The rest of the class also has this. And you can see here, editorial structure with supporting examples using peel. So this is what you will be writing on to begin with. Like last time, you set up the structure was already there. The hook to grab the reader's attention. Now, I'm going to go through this, but remember, don't get overwhelmed by this, because I am going to show you an example, okay? This here is an introduction. You're wanting to grab the reader's attention. It could be by, I could introduce a story by telling the story of my niece's christening, which you've seen. That might be the story. It might be opening it up with that. That's the hook, getting them interested, how it made us feel. All right, so you've seen that photo. I'll bring that up again. Your opinion, and 3 to 4 reasons to discuss further. All right, so this is the hook. I'm giving you an intro of an editorial. This is about fine arts, and the question is, should we have, in this example, should music classes be included in school? All right, fine arts are important in the curriculum because of what they do for learning, stated Patty Taylor, arts consultant for the California State Department of Education. So they gave it gravitas, the introduction, whereas you could introduce it with a story. Down here, opinion. In other words, the arts, especially music, should be part of every school's curriculum at every grade level. So you've got put in your opinion about the importance of the sacrament of the initiation that you've chosen. Reasons. These will be the topic sentences. Reasons. 1. Music makes students smarter, gives children something positive to do, and builds self-confidence. Most students don't have a chance to learn music outside of school, and everyone deserves that opportunity. Okay. These are the body paragraphs, topic sentences. Music makes students smarter. Music gives children something positive to do. Music builds self-confidence. So that's what you've got to think about when you're writing. How are you going to block this editorial? In some ways, I would leave the introduction last. I would do your topic sentences first, so that you work out how you're going to divide it up. Are you going to divide it up into looking just at the symbols, looking just at rituals, looking at the actual beginning, the middle, and the end? Are you looking at community? So are you going to divide up the paragraphs from the least important to the most important, if there is such a thing? So in this case, this essay writer was going to make music makes students smarter, and then this is the paragraph, an example of a paragraph, an editorial paragraph. So music makes students smarter if they had some music experience. They would also improve their classroom skills, helping with pay attention, following directions, participating without interrupting. So that's the fact. People develop these skills when they learn music. Musicians are also better in math, and they get high SAT scores, that's HSC scores. For instance, a study by the College Entrance Examination Board reported students with 20 units of arts and music scored 128 points higher in SAT. That's HSC verbal, so don't worry about that. But they're basically saying here that anyone learns music, their HSC results are higher than those who don't learn music. So you can use that to study how you would have the paragraph. All right, that's the body paragraph. Now, that's pretty easy to do because you have this here. Have I got that there? Yes, you've got that here. All right, point. You're stating the reason. The reason is students would be much smarter if they had some music experience. It might be with Catholicism, linking it back to Jesus' baptism with St. John the Baptist, and including evidence using his quotes at the time, and analysing on what that means by linking us to the history of the church, and link back to the introductory hook, which is in the introduction at the end. So there's no difference between this and petal. It's just the structure is, you're just missing out on the technique, all right? So you're in the point, state, reason, that is going to be your topic sentence. Okay, so in fact, I probably should have written topic sentence in there, and that's what it is. Write topic sentence. Topic impactful sentence. Maybe that's even better. Making an impact. Topic sentence with an impact. Oh. I want to know exactly. Okay, right. So now down here in conclusion, so you've got 3 body paragraphs there, as you can see there, like similar. Now the conclusion, bring together the key themes discussed in the paragraphs and statement of contention, but worded differently. I've got an example of conclusion editorial. Once again, music is important because it can make children better students, give them something positive to do, and they build their character. Unfortunately, children who need music lessons, leave reader thinking, most usually don't have access to them outside of school. That is why music should be offered in every single grade in every school. All right, so it's good to leave a little point there to still link in, not new information, but leave reader thinking. And then finally, the opinion. Okay, so you've got the intro, you've got the conclusion, all right? And you've got the structure here, which I put out. There's body paragraph 1, 2, 3. Here I've also added, which was also in the PowerPoint, is persuasive language techniques, all right? Use the present tense. You're talking often in the first person, but you would use, always use present tense. A rhetorical question. Now, I highlighted these because I'm going to show you an example later, but a rhetorical question was, so how does being Christian benefit me again? You know, it's asking a question that they've got rhetorical questions and questions here to bring your attention to where it's going and the important aspect of the sacrament. An anecdote. Tell a story to support the fact. So you're illustrating a story. Mrs. Christensen's, you know, I tell you about a baptism and then I tell you a family story. That's so that you get the sense of the feeling and how important the message is. Mrs. Christensen's Baptist story in the river. I bet you can even imagine those pictures, the ones that I brought in. Strong words. Strong words. I don't know if I've got that there. I might have to go back to this. I meant to have that in there, but I don't want to have to do it again. Hold on. Here. No. Scroll down. Here. Strong words. Dare, need, must. It's imperative that in a family where other people are baptised, that the youngest member is baptised so they can feel part of that family in community. It's a need, it's a must. Whereas this one down here, they can, they may, they shall. You know, it's not strong. Should, will, ought, maybe, you know, but they will, they must, they need, they dare. All right, so that's what that means. I'll get this down again. Where am I? I want to go back to that. Okay, so where are we? Strong words. Must, need, dare, will. So some of those other ones that you might put in a synonym. Oh, I don't want that. Cancel. Will. Have they got synonyms? Yes, they do. Resolve, willpower, drive. You could use drive, force, all of those things. You could use all of those. Because they're strong words, they indicate the strength of your argument. Repetition, we can do it. Of course we can do it. I know we can do it. One of the titles is A New Beginning. Politicians use repetition all the time because they want you to pay attention to what they're trying to say. Alliteration, if you want. Frank fought ferociously. You can use that as a... You can also use similes and metaphors. White as snow. We use white a lot in the baptism, and in the baptism, the dress, the candle, the light, the water, all of those things. You can use similes and metaphors for that. Descriptive language, lively, vivid, hot, blistering, muggy. They're all descriptive languages, say, of something. So, example, hot is blistering and muggy. So, descriptive language of... So, if you wanted something that was, say, peace, it brings a certain amount of peace. So, you might have other... we got any synonyms? Yep. Peacetime, amity, harmony is another one. Goodwill. So you can look at the feeling that you're trying to give, and you can include those words, and that's a way of repeating your idea with different words. Informative language. Now this is orange. I might change it to black. The reason it's orange is it's going to be highlighted orange in your page here, your example, which I'm going to show you. Can I see it? Yep, that one. I've frozen. Okay, so facts, statements, quotes, Bible quotes, statistics, expert opinions, adds weight to the argument, gives it gravitas, gives it a sense of importance. Plus, the other informative language is the technical language from the assessment criteria. All right, I'm just going to see if there's any other... The last thing, I'm going to look up rhetorical questions for you. You can see this is where I got the information from. See if they give any other examples. Rhetorical question is asked when the questioner himself knows the answer already, or an answer is not actually demanded. So an answer is not expected from the audience. Such a question is used to emphasise a point or draw an audience's attention. So in some ways, you feel that they're asking you that question there. I'm just seeing if there's anything else. No. So in this case, where we've got the rhetorical question, so how does being Christian benefit me again? So that is a rhetorical question, is that she does already know the answer to that. Just ignore that. That she does know the answer to that, but she's just placing that question so that she can answer it so that you will know it as well. All right, have you got any questions? Once you've read through that and you've highlighted your assessment task, we're going to have a look at the example that I've got. Okay, thanks very much, girls, and good luck.